excited to introduce our next presenter. He actually presented here 3 years ago. I don't know if anybody in the room was here at the time. I remember I was. You were? Okay. Dalton of Boneboss Calls came to present here shortly after having placed at the Stark Tank Business Pitch Competition, an annual event in Stark County. He did really well at that time and then shared his hunting call business, which was very new at that point. At 1 Million Cups, sometimes we welcome people back who've done significantly more progress with their business, and that's exactly the case with Dalton. So if you would give a warm welcome to Dalton Tunis.
Okay, like you said, my name's Dalton Tunis. I'm the founder, owner, and operator of what is now Boneboss Outdoors. So since I've been a little boy, have had just a strong passion for the outdoors and hunting. Ever since I was 4 or 5 years old, when my dad was taking me hunting. And I always told myself that I would find a way to turn that passion into a business. And so 3 years ago, I made that happen. So 3 years ago, I started Boneboss Game Calls, but today that has grown into what is now Boneboss Outdoors. So I spent the last 3 years growing and expanding the business into Boneboss Outdoors. I have 2 umbrellas. One is Boneboss Game Calls, which is still operating, and the other is Boneboss Land and Game Management. So Boneboss Game Calls is handcrafted game calls for deer and turkey. So I've brought several products of what I have now. So 3 years ago, all I had was this call right here. So in 3 years, I've really honed in on my packaging. I have a website, and I have multiple wholesale accounts where you can find Boneboss Game Calls in stores. So I've since expanded to multiple deer calls, a rattle bag to mimic 2 deer fighting, a grunt call to mimic a buck grunting, and then a bleat call, which this is not released yet. This will be released very soon on the website, but to mimic a doe and a little bleat. And again, like I said, this was my starting call for turkey, but since I've also expanded into another line of turkey calls, and then I have a more, what I like to call, premium call coming out next spring. I have 2 websites that kind of make up what Boneboss Outdoors is. You have the game call one, but then there is also a bonebossoutdoors.com website. This is the hub for what makes the business everything that it is. And so you can also find the other side of the business on the website, which is Boneboss Land and Game Management. So this is what I've expanded into and something that I've loved my entire life doing. I'm a farm boy at heart. Grew up, we raised cattle. We do a lot of farming ourselves. But the land management side of things is a service offered to people. So if you own land and you enroll your property in a government program, say CRP, or you just need some clearing done on your property, you have a property that you just like to use for hunting and would like some things done to it, that is what I do on the land and game management side of things. And so that is all offered in the services that I offer. And so kind of molding the 2 together to create this large outdoor business in the Northwest Indiana and kind of the entire Midwest. Because just like myself, grew up hunting and just have that strong passion for the outdoors, there's a lot of other people in the area and the Midwest that also have that passion as well. And sometimes they just need a little help on bringing that passion kind of to life on what they want to do, and that's where Boneboss Outdoors comes into play. So I work in properties, game calls, land, game, I also offer supplies that you can purchase for your hunting property or for your land, not just the game calls. I'm a dealer for many seed products, fertilizer, hunting blinds, hunting stands. So I have since grown in the last 3 years this business into what is now a one-stop shop outdoor business. So kind of future plans for this business is I want to open a storefront to be able to offer all of this supplies that I carry, not just the game calls, in one place, kind of creating that Bass Pro-like shop for people to come and fulfill their needs, whether it be seed, fertilizer, or sign up to for services that I offer. So that's one way I plan on expanding. I want to start a podcast as well. I have multiple things down the pipe for working and collabing with others. And so between all of that, I am here today to just express to you where I am at now. Growth has been amazing from year 1 to year 2 to year 3, and I'm truly blessed to have that. But I need that growth to continue to go up in order to grow the business to where I want to see it in year 4, year 5, 10 years, 15 years down the road. Because ultimately, I don't plan on stopping with this business, and this is what I love to do more than anything else. So that is what makes up Boneboss Outdoors, all the way down from the game call side to the land management side. Any questions?
Did you tell us what services you offer?
Yeah, so the services I talked about earlier, anything that deals with land, game, hunting properties. So planting, land clearing, custom farming, land consulting, habitat work. So not just doing the planting on CRP properties, government properties. So a lot of the properties also need maintenance done on them. You don't just kind of plant it and forget about it. All of the maintenance that is done on those properties I do as well. So that's, mowing or cutting, spraying, like I said earlier, clearing. So there's a lot that goes into that maintenance part as well. But again, land consulting, if you want me to come out and just kind of take a look at, what you have, maybe ideas that you have, and kind of let me then give my feedback, I do that as well too.
If you could take it up a level, we've got a lot of city folk here who are maybe not familiar with why this is needed.
Right.
So kind of take that up a little bit as far as like the services you're talking about. Why would anybody want to do any of that?
Right. No, that's a great question too, because like I said earlier, I'm not the only one like me. There's a lot of people that love the outdoors, a lot of people that own land. And so whether that be somebody that just from maybe a different state or who lives here, who just owns a property that they just use for recreation, hunting, things like that. A large property takes a lot of upkeep. And so sometimes everybody can't do that. They don't have the equipment to do that. And that's kind of where I've come into play with the land management side of things I am that person. You call me and I will help you take care of your land. And so with many landowners kind of owning, you have your farmers who own large blocks of land that they farm. They have the equipment to do it. But you also have a lot of other people who own just that smaller block, let's say 10, 20, really no acreage is too small. I mean, even down to 5 or a couple acres, but all the way up 50 to 100. But that land needs maintenance done to it. It needs help, and not everybody can always do that. So that's kind of why this is needed in the area and across the entire Midwest. I mean, I don't limit myself to just Northwest Indiana. If somebody from Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, even as far out as Iowa called, I would gladly service them to what their needs are.
Spitballing here, trying to merge your idea with, or your business model with a buddy in Lafayette who uses drones for assessing the value of a property in terms of timber and things like that.
Yep.
Is that already integrated? Are you already using drones? Is that a way that you can help property owners to like get multiple streams of value out of their property?
No, that's a great question, and I'm glad you asked that because as I mentioned earlier, I have a lot of things in the pipeline coming in the future, and I am in the process of partnering with a gentleman who has a drone company. I met just a few weeks ago, and we are working on offering this total property assessment, or even to the point of a total hunting property assessment, where you can view deer and view the, health of your herd of deer, because a lot of people want to see what kind of deer and how many, but then also to your point there, what kind of timber do you have on the property? What can we do to maximize the potential of your property, whether it be cutting, timber down for money, or whether it be putting a portion of your land in a government program that then also pays you per acre money. And really utilizing every inch of your property to maximize the potential of what you want that property to be, whether it's a recreation hunting property, whether you just want it to be for strictly habitat and nobody goes out there. And so I'm glad that's a great question, because that is something I am working on, and as a company as a whole, not just with a drone, but for me, whether I have a drone or I'm on foot, that's the whole goal of the land management side of the business, is maximizing your property to its full potential.
So with the calls, what makes your calls different than other calls in the market?
You go to a Bass Pro, a Walmart, any of the larger box stores, and you're going to find turkey calls, deer calls. You're going to find them there, and that's so what I do is, what's different from my calls to their calls is a couple things. As I mentioned before, they're handcrafted. So I am making these in my shop, in my garage is what I call my shop. So I am creating this turkey call. I am creating these deer calls. I'm putting this grunt call together. I don't know how to sew, I'll be honest, but I have a very good lady friend that helps me with the bags that she sews. So everything you see here is handcrafted, is made right here in Indiana and made right in the US. And I am making sure that what you are getting here is built to last, is going to sound exactly like what you want these animals to sound like, and know that you're getting quality over quantity.
I didn't hear anything about like waterfowl, duck, geese, and that's all over the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that brings in a whole different element of managing water systems and so forth. Is that either part of their future or?
Yeah, no, that is part of the future. That's not something I, expertise in, is the waterfowl world of hunting. I'm a deer guy through and through. I study deer. I study land and everything what deer use and how that's what I think about every day. My wife kind of makes fun of me a little bit just because that's all I think about 24/7 all day is deer and how to make things better and what they're doing. But to answer your question, yes, future kind of down the road, because there are on the land side, and even if it's a government program, there are programs that you can put your land in that are better utilized for waterfowl. And so you have wetland programs where flooding happens more, where you're going to have larger bodies of water on your property. But they still need maintenance done. It just doesn't mean you put it in the program, it floods, it's great, waterfowl heaven. The maintenance is still needed there, and so then that's where I come into play as well. So I've helped people put their land in that program to maybe maximize waterfowl hunting, but then help them on the maintenance side of things with getting it just right.
I realize you're kind of focused a little bit more on the service side today,
Mm-hmm.
but you have a product that is unique
Mm-hmm.
and interesting, even to those of us who are not hunters. I would highly recommend that you always do a demonstration of your product.
That's a great, I mean, we can bust that out real quick if anybody minds, because we can, I have some here, and I made sure to leave some out of packages so we can. So actually, thank you for reminding me of that. I apologize. So as I spoke the rattle bag earlier, kind of just a quick run through and why this is different than others is this because this is my design. You have a longer string here, you can hang it places. What is super cool is you have a handle on it. So if you're up in the stand, you're not going to drop it when you're using it. See, you can run this one-handed if you really wanted to. Has what I call travel mode, a strap here. It's in your bag, it's not clinking around. It's not really clinking right now. But you take that strap off, you can already hear it starting to move and clink. So that's $2 fighting. And like I said earlier, not many calls you can run with one hand. This can be run with one hand. You're sitting in the stand. You can hit it on the tree if you want, but that can be run with one hand. Bleat call in a bag. The idea behind this was to be able to easily kind of hook it to you somewhere so you can have a quick and then hands-free. But really all this does is you turn it up, turn it down. And so if it's attached to you here, then you can easily, and then let go and it's still attached to you. So the grunt call is just your normal grunt call, but with good range and volume. You have an expandable tube. Not to get in the weeds, but this past weekend, the biggest buck I've shot in my life, I grunted in with this exact tube here. I made sure to bring it. And then the turkey call, the OG as I call it. This is the original Strut Boss. This one, so this is a slate over glass, where this one is the raspy Strut Boss, which is a glass over glass. You get a little bit more rasp in it. And then the premium Strut Boss that will come out next year is a crystal over slate with a little bit different wood design. And so something, back to your question, how are my calls different, is this wood that you're seeing right here is Indiana walnut wood. This was actually cut down not too far from my house. I dried this wood, I cut this pot, and built this by hand. And so that's what you're getting in the stores that you can find my calls, is that quality. So that's kind of just a quick overview. I thank you again, and I apologize for not demonstrating those earlier. But that's kind of a rundown of all the calls that I offer and what you can find in stores. And so the goal with these is to get them in more stores. I would like to be, currently I'm in majority of Ace Hardwares. I'd like to be in Ace Hardwares across the country. And possibly in a Bass Pro or anything like that. So that is the goal with the game call side, is to be in more stores to where when you walk in and you see Boneboss game calls, you know that you're getting quality over competitors.
I'm not a hunter, but I live in the woods and we have a lot of deer, and
Yep.
I swear to you, those are sounds exactly like what I hear where we live. But to your point, you just talked about the growth of the calls and also the fact that you're making them yourself in your garage.
Yep.
So how do you scale the production side of this?
So, right, that's a great question, and I've thought a lot about that, because what if, out of the blue, the wholesale accounts that I do have currently called and said, hey, I need large order, whatever that quantity may be, and then the next store calls and asks the same. Currently, that is one of kind of the hurdles that I'm trying to jump, is when that comes in, what am I going to do? What I've kind of done in the past for larger orders is, well, I just, spend my entire night out in the garage or in the whole week and making calls and just kind of busting them out. And that's really kind of what is going to happen now. But with the growth of the company will come future employees, because that's the ultimate goal, is to have employees for both the land management side and the game call side of things. And so that way I have somebody that can help me with the land management stuff, but then also somebody that can be making calls while maybe I'm out doing land management stuff or vice versa. So to answer your question, Lori, is currently working through that, but future plans to hire employees.
I grew up in Chicago,
Okay.
so it was a little bit of a foreign language, but thanks for kind of bridging the gap, help with the demos. So I was thinking about maybe someone like myself who moved from an urban area to a more of a rural area, and maybe they have a desire to know about these things. Have you thought about like classes, training in terms of the hunting?
time.
Yeah, so it's a great question because another thing that I'm kind of trending towards is the social media side of things and the YouTube side of the world of the outdoor industry. And so to your point, that is kind of the plan with YouTube, is to have, you know, class-like videos to where somebody like yourself, they want to learn maybe how to use a call or what makes my call better, or you want to do some things to your land, you can go to my YouTube channel and watch some videos to kind of get a better understanding of what you want to do. Now, as far as in-person classes, I don't have kind of plans in the future for that. I want to kind of bridge that gap using YouTube, just because, you know, I'm only one person. I can't be everywhere all the time. And so that's kind of where the employees come into play, and then be able to use social media to my advantage in that point right there.
It's really great to see how far you've come in 3 years, and I know your objective, of course, this is still a side business, right?
That is
Working
correct, yes.
too,
Sometimes
so you're juggling.
it's a side business that sometimes feels like a full-time business, which truly thankful for.
The one thing that you said that surprised me was the retail store part. Retail is hard.
Yeah.
Bass Pro is really cool. So what do you think you can offer? Or is that just a long-term vision?
I mean, kind of both. I mean, it is a long-term vision, but I think with kind of how I described earlier, what makes my calls different than what you can find in a Walmart or Bass Pro Shop now, and I'm not knocking anything that's in those stores now, because there are a lot of good calls out there. But I think with just being kind of different and seeing what people are kind of wanting now, they're wanting that USA made that feels more like real people touched this and made it to what it is. I think is going to help me get into somewhere like a Bass Pro, because Bass Pro is a giant, you know, outdoor store. I mean, they have them everywhere, and you walk in and it's just like Disney for outdoor hunting people. But so to be able to get into a place like that would really honestly be a dream come true. But with focusing on, you know, Ace Hardware, and I mention Ace Hardware because a quick story, Ace Hardware kind of has a spot in my heart, because I kind of grew up in an Ace Hardware, the one in Winamac, Indiana. Some of my family used to own, and my mom used to be a store manager there. So me and my brother used to be kind of in the back hanging out and watching movies. But so I kind of grew up in an Ace, and so, but to Ace Hardware to me feels more like that mom and pop type store, but you know, US wide, you know, you can find them anywhere. And so that's why I've kind of put my focus into Ace Hardware, and hopefully can continue to grow in that aspect. But Bass Pro is also really cool. Would love to be in there too, and hopefully in the future I will.
What can the 1 Million Cups community do for you?
So like I said earlier, where I am at now is continuing that growth, and just continuing to grow with the business. Year 1, year 2, year 3 growth have been exceptional. But from 1 Million Cups is any way that you can get the Boneboss name, brand, anything that deals with that out there to can help me continue that growth to hopefully, do this full time one day. That's what I would love from you guys.
I don't know if you got a couple for to get one anyway.
Yeah.
I do. I have one now. I got a second now. Yes.
All right, congratulations, thank you, good job.